He said Mr. Robert Smith's patrol came over, a short time later, and took the two males I had placed under constraint. Person 16 assumed they were being taken away for questioning, he said. Loading within about 15 to 20 minutes, there was a call over the radio of EKIA, Person 16 said, meaning enemy killed in action. Person 16 said he encountered Mr. Robert Smith within a day or two of the mission and asked him, what happened to that young fella that was shaking like a leaf? He said Mr. Robert Smith replied, I shot that CT in the head. Person 15 told me not to kill anyone on the last job, so I pulled out my 9mm pistol, shot the CT in the side of the head, blew his brains out. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Person 16 said the conversation left him shocked, and he didn't repeat what was said. There was a code of silence within the regiment as to these things occurring, he said, and he feared retribution if he spoke up. I also think that my personal safety, I would have been in danger by making such allegations against someone so influential. Mr. Robert Smith has insisted the alleged killing did not happen and denied saying those words to Person 16. Bruce McClintock, SC, who is acting for Mr. Robert Smith, dismissed the allegation in his opening address to the court last year. It's like actor Robert Duvall in Apocalypse Now. It's Colonel Kilgore on ice. It's insane. It's the sort of thing that would be said by an ostentatious psychopath. He's not that, Mr. McClintock said. Person 16 was shown photos in court of a body that he said looks like the young Afghan man I detained from the Toyota Hilux. The court heard an AK-47 style of weapon was placed on the body. Person 16 said the man did not have that weapon when he handcuffed him. Mr. Robert Smith received the Victoria Cross, Australia's highest military honour, in 2011 for his participation in a 2010 battle in Tizak, Afghanistan. The barrister acting for the newspapers, Nicholas Owens, SC, asked Person 16 if he had any knowledge about Mr. Robert Smith's reputation before he joined the SAS at the start of 2011. From what I can recall, he had a reputation as being a no-nonsense individual, pretty straight, hard-hitting individual who didn't suffer fools. He had a formidable reputation, Person 16 said. After he was posted to the SAS, Person 16 said, he became aware that there were two camps of thought about Mr. Robert Smith. Those against him saw him as belligerent and a bully who would trash and tarnish other people's reputations. Earlier on Friday, Justice Anthony Basanko admitted into evidence the handwritten notes of investigative journalist Chris Masters, who co-authored the articles at the center of the case, from a 2018 meeting with a serving SAS soldier, dubbed Person 14. These notes are expected to be a key document in the proceedings. Person 14 has told the court he witnessed 3 Australian soldiers in Afghanistan in 2009 around a black object which was similar to a human before one of the soldiers fired a distinctive machine gun, known as the F-89 Paraminimi. Ben Robert Smith at the federal court in Sydney on Friday. Credit, Peter Ray. He said he later discovered the object was an Afghan man with a prosthetic leg, who had been shot dead. Person 14 told the court he could not identify any of the 3 soldiers, but he saw who had the minimi after the mission was completed, and it was Ben Robert Smith. He later admitted he was not suggesting it was the same minimi. Mr. Robert Smith's barrister, Arthur Moses, SC, has told the court that Masters notes record that R.S. Robert Smith had an M14 rifle during the alleged incident in 2009, while another soldier, Person 4, had a minimi. The note said Person 14 understood P4 had shot an old guy with a prosthetic leg, Mr. Moses said. Mr. Moses put it to Person 14 on Thursday that he initially told Masters that Person 4 had shot the Afghan man. Incorrect, Person 14 said. You are a liar, aren't you? Mr. Moses said. I'm not, Person 14 said. Person 14 said minimus were typically carried by a junior soldier, and he initially believed Person 4 shot the Afghan man. That was based off me assuming that the minimi carrier was Person 4, he said. That was my initial assumption on the ground, but I later came to learn who was carrying the minimi.